So I had been playing Roblox Doors with my friend Rainbow Ninja, and he unfortunately didn't make it past the first seek chase. However, I made it to door 49, and I had heard that something happens at door 50. So I decided I would record what my reaction would be for my first time entering door 50. And with that, my first thoughts were, what do I do? I was so confused. So I'm looking around, right? And I'm like, okay, let me open the cabinet.
Oh, I shouldn't have done that.
If only I realized a little sooner. Wait a moment. He's gonna hear me opening the cabinet.
Am I safe? I'm not safe.
I noticed a light over there. I was like, oh, maybe that's the guiding light. So I made my way over to it. And there it was, the guiding light. So I grabbed the paper and was immediately confused. I was like, oh, great. What am I supposed to do with this? So I made my way over to the safest area in the room I could think of. And read the paper.
So I have to take a book off a shelf. Oh, the lock's probably locked with shapes. Okay.
At first I was thinking, oh, maybe the lock has a combination of shapes that I have to input.
Guessing if I step on those, it'll hear that.
So at this point I was kind of struggling to figure out where to find the books. And yeah, there are bookshelves everywhere, so that does sound kind of dumb, but it was kind of hard to tell which books that I could take and which ones I couldn't.
Okay, this is actually really scary.
So at this point I was starting to get really worried that he was gonna, like, you know, find me, and I don't know what happens. So I'm kind of like frantically looking around for any hints.
Dude, book. Where do I get book?
Of a book that I could pick up. And so when I turned the corner over there, once I thought it was safe, I was able to see the lock right there. So I was like, okay, well, I may as well check out the lock. Right, I looked at it and I was immediately confused to see numbers instead of shapes until I figured it out.
Oh, okay. I get what the deal is. So the book's gonna have... Oh, yes. Okay.
So that's when I figured out what the books you can take look like. It's literally just got the guiding light on it. That's nice. So I figured out, I thought I had figured out the combination now that I saw circle is 6. I was thinking that circle was going to be a number and I would put it into the 6th slot on the lock. So once I figured that I was safe, which was not easy to determine, I moved over to the lock.
So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5? What?
So this was confusing to me because once again I thought I had figured out the code. So I decided to go and consult the paper.
Ah, there's no 6. Unless I'm thinking wrong.
So now I was really confused, but I was slowly figuring out what to do with the shapes that I had gotten. Unfortunately, the game did me a little dirty here by giving me a book that was useless. And then I saw figures, so I kind of just started running. Well, running, I guess, isn't exactly the word I would use, because I was crouching.
Oh, there are more books over there.
So I remember Bolita watching this at some point, and his reaction was like, oh, so there are more books over there. So why didn't you grab the books? Well, my thoughts were, oh, that's a dead end and figures chasing me.
Star is 0?
So this is just a sped up scene of me running from figure because, like I said, I thought he was chasing me and not that he was just doing a regular cycle that he does.
Okay, so this is not as easy as I thought to figure out.
So this is the part where I figured out what I was supposed to be doing. I looked and I saw that star was 0, so I thought to myself, oh, well, maybe that means I should put 0 for the first part of the lock combination.
Yup, he's right behind you. I know.
So this is the part where I was just trying to get to the lock, but freaking figure kept on going everywhere I didn't want him to. So I went and checked, and I was like, yeah, okay, 1 is already 0. So do I have any other shapes? I looked and I saw that I had a hexagon, but I was looking for a pentagon, and then boom, triangle. Number 3 is a triangle, and triangle was 6. So I went and put 6 onto the 3rd slot on the lock, and went to see if I had any other corresponding shapes. I did not, but shortly after I found a book with the square in it, and it told me that the square was 3. The square was number 4, so I put it into the 4th slot on the lock and continued my search for books. After evading figure for what felt like forever, I finally found the next book, and found that rhombus was 9, so I checked on the paper, and sure enough, rhombus was number 2 on the lock. Good for me. So I painstakingly made my way over to the stairs that lead up to the lock, and oh hey, look, another book. So I grabbed that book and made my way up the stairs. Discovered that X was 6. There was no X on my paper, and I knew that one for sure. So I started heading over to the lock, and sure enough, there was another book. That must be the last one. So I opened the lock with the 2 numbers that I had recently discovered, and boom, the door was open. Haha.
Yes. Yes. Oh, yeah, baby. That's what I'm talking about. Whew.
And this has been my first encounter with door 50. If you want to see the rest of this playthrough, I'll be posting that a little bit after this video. Yeah, and on the screen there should be some more content if you want to watch anything else. And with that, I hope you enjoyed, and may you have a good rest of your day.